All right. You know what? You know what, Philip? I got it all. I got everything today. We're gonna, um, yeah. I got a new microphone. I got a fancy start screen. I got, uh, you know, a face cam. I got everything today. I'm in a nice little echo box, which is probably terrible for the audio, but the new microphone helps balance it out. But yeah, so today I've got, excuse me, today I've got the ever lovely Crashing Footfalls again. Um, this time I'll do a little bit of a discussion about the deck and the build, since I realized I didn't do that last time. So basically, Team of Rhinos, it's a, three-color deck. The whole point is to cast Violent Outburst or Shardless Agent and cascade into Crashing Footfalls. Very mid-rangey, tempo-y kind of deck. And the reason that we're playing a lot of weird cards that you often don't see, or at least don't see in the amounts that you do in this deck, is because of the Cascade restriction. And so things like Brazen Borrower and Bone Crusher Giant and Dead Gone are all cards that you can cast on turns 1 and 2 that don't break the Cascade requirement because in the case of Dead Gone and Fire Ice, they're split cards, and in the case of Bone Crusher and Brazen Borrower, they're adventure cards. Yeah, so that's the basic gist of the deck. Let's see, things about this build in particular. So we're on 3 Gemstone Caverns. I'm not entirely sure about it. I felt a little uncomfortable with it before, but trying it out again. Played 3 last league with the deck, and it worked well. So trying it out again. I've run 1, I've run 2, I've run 3. I've never run 4. That's a terrible idea, but I've run every number in between, basically. Yeah, 3 Brazen Borrower in this list. Found that Brazen Borrower tends to be like one of the weakest pieces of interaction in the deck. And it's also one of the weakest backup threats. One, it can be hard to cast sometimes, especially if you're sideboarding into Blood Moon. So casting it as a threat can be difficult, and bouncing is not nearly as powerful as killing things. Surprise, surprise. Force negation, very obvious. You can protect your combo on your with it by casting Violent Outburst on your opponent's end step, since Violent Outburst for some reason is an instant. Prismari Command, 2 Prismari Command in this list. The card can be kind of clunky sometimes. When you're getting that nice 2-for-1, when you're destroying an artifact and dealing 2 damage to a creature, really nice. But the Faithless Looting effect for 3 mana is pretty rough. And the treasure token does come up every once in a while. Mostly comes up when you want to hard cast a Fury, or if you want to, there's like 2 specific spells you want to cast in a turn. Fire Ice, really powerful. Just 2 damage, split is how you want. Really good if your opponent plays 2 X1s. Ice to tap down an opponent's land can often be like a little mini time walk. It can be really powerful because if your opponent, on turn 2, if they're trying to curve out, they won't be able to because they'll be on 1 less land. Sometimes your opponent can make up for it by playing a specific copy or like a specific card, but overall, really powerful card. Dead Gone. Dead Gone is one of the weirder cards in the deck. It exists mostly for matchups like any Ragavan decks, and then Hammer Time as well. The main thing you want to be doing with the deck is casting Dead, just using it as like a creature shock, essentially, because there's a huge dearth of 1 mana, or of interaction that you can play on turn 1, so this is kind of just what we have to play. Casting Gone does matter sometimes. You can use it against opponents' Rhinos, you can use it against a Murktide Regent, a lot of different stuff you can do with the card. Fury is definitely one of the best cards in the deck. Being able to evoke it is incredible. Seagate Restoration, the one Seagate Restoration is in here as a 24th land that can pitch to force some negation, and that's pretty much it. Sideboard, got 4 Mystical Dispute. Mystical Dispute comes in a lot, against any blue decks. Obviously, it's going to come in. And a lot of times in grindier matchups, it'll come in over Force of Negation. Because Mystical Dispute is still just like a 3-mana mana leak. And sometimes you want that, but you don't want to be 2-for-1ing yourself with Force of Negation against a deck like Jund or something. Blood Moon. Blood Moon's really, it's one of the most powerful spells in the modern format, always has been. The mana base supports it surprisingly well. We do have 2 basic islands, a basic forest, and a basic mountain, and we have a lot of fetch lands. Let's see, I believe 12 fetch lands in this list. So fetching basics is super easy. Force of Vigor, just the best card in the game against Hammer Time, basically. Helps you destroy Urza's Sagas, destroys Sigarda's Aids, destroys Colossus Hammers, any of their artifact creatures, just does everything. Endurance is here for graveyard decks like Dredge or Living End, and then also it's usually worth bringing in against like the DRC, various like Dragon's Rage Channeler decks. It does everything you want. Blocks Dragon Rage Channeler, gets rid of graveyards. It's really reasonable to hard cast. Overall, very good card. Firespout. Firespout's a weird one. Doomwake has been playing this card in his sideboard, and I've liked it a lot. I also, my rental limit doesn't allow me to play 4 Endurance, which is what some of the other players who are doing well with the deck are playing. So this is what I'm running instead. Essentially, it's just if you spend both red and green. Oh, shoot. That's right. I forgot it's being covered. There we go. Yeah, so I was talking about them, but Mystical Dispute, Blood Moon, Force of Vigor, Endurance, and then the last card, Firespout. Firespout basically just says deals 3 damage. It's 2 Gruul Hybrid, deals 3 damage to each creature with flying if you spend red, and each creature with without flying if you spend red, and with flying if you spend green. So it just deals 3 damage to everything. Very good against like hammer boards that don't actually have a hammer. Very good against tribal aggro, spirits, humans, merfolk. Yeah, just a very, very useful card. And then also, importantly, it dodges your... it lets your Rhinos stay alive since they're 4 toughness. But, yeah. So that's the deck. And if Magic Online wants to work with me... oh well. Boop. It's having a time. All right. I forgot to do this. Shh. This will be cut out. All Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into the league. Not a challenge. Modern League. 100 play points. Okay. Yeah, sorry for any technical mishaps. Obviously, everything is new. Literally, like everything. If you compare this to the last stream, everything has changed, and so still trying to figure out exactly how to get things working, but. You can see here on this lovely trophy leaderboard, we've got Aspiring Spike holding on at the top. I think he's streaming right now, actually. Yeah, it looks like he just got a trophy, so September 2nd, 10:34, so not bad, not bad. There we go. I was going to say, this definitely a long queue time. God, it's wild to see how many of these names I've played against recently, honestly. I've played against M. Hayashi, Artem Go, Doomwake. Kind of feels like a little celebrity match. Alright. Would I like to play first? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, why is that so tiny? There we go. Well, okay. This is a bit of a suspect keep. I think I'm gonna mulligan this one. Yeah, that's kind of what I deserve. Alright, I'm gonna put back one of these footfalls. I'll go ahead and lead on. Let's go ahead and grab a breeding pool, I believe. Might be worth grabbing a Stomping Grounds here. No, I think I want the breeding pool so I can play the Borrower. Alright, so let's go ahead and shock that in, and then we'll suspend this Crashing Footfalls and pass the turn. Yield through this turn. Alright. Opponent says Scalding Tarn, go. And I'm going to say Gemstone Caverns, go. We'll definitely ice their land on upkeep. Doesn't... I kind of... Okay, no, never mind. We're definitely icing that land. I was going to say, whenever I see someone play, like, fetch land, say go, a lot of times I kind of... Oh, no, the punish. Oh, please draw an actual better land. Oh, no! Oh, Jesus Christ. That's miserable. Okay. Wow, that is the maximum punish. I said please draw a better land. I even specified. Yeah, that's definitely something you don't want to see, is all three of your gemstone caverns in the top 10 cards of your library. Oh man, that's brutal. You want to field a ruin my gemstone caverns, please? No, my gemstone caverns. Also, hilariously enough, this actually allows me to cast Outburst. Means I have to fetch the basic mountain, but I think it's worth it. That's a castable spell, I guess. All right, let's see if these rhinos get there. Wall of Omens, okay. Say, yeah, these rhinos come off a suspend. Are they going to counter this? Is that what's going to happen? Yeah. Wow. Man, the draws. The draws this game have been something else. Alright. I will say, unless they have either two removal spells or a removal spell and a counter spell, I'm looking pretty decent here. This is a prismatic ending. Question is, do I force this? I feel like the answer is probably no. I don't know, though, because I feel like they might have... They probably just drew this, or either just drew this for a turn and drew this off the Wall of Omens, because I feel like they would have just cast that instead of the Wall of Omens last turn, maybe. I don't know. I think this might not be the right play, but I'm going to fire it off. Okay. Okay. I have a cryptic command. Oh, fucking brutal. Okay. Hot damn. These have been some draws, let me tell you. I do have enough gas in the tank to do this, though, which is nice. I can cast Gone, targeting the Rhino. Get in for 4. Hope they don't have another answer. They almost certainly do, but 3 mana to Fairy. Oh, what's going on here? Chase the Mind Sculptor. That's pretty bad for me. Okay. Something good off the top. That is a card off the top. It's honestly pretty hilarious how much more I'd be in this game if I had drawn. I mean, I probably might have won by now, honestly, if I'd drawn actual lands instead of those extra gemstones. Let's say there's the Teferi. Yep. Oh, fucking hell. Wow. Ugh. That's so close to being good. Yeah, I think I've lost this game. Ugh. Let's play to at least one more out. I wish I could just cast a Shardless Agent. I'd love to just hard cast a Shardless Agent and hope it gets in for 2, you know? Okay. And it doesn't matter if I float because of Teferi. Let me grab an island. Really wish they would Field of Ruin my Gemstone Caverns. That would be nice. Yeah, no, what am I doing? I'm getting out of this game. Alrighty. We can trim on Dead Guns. There's a decent chance they might be playing Chalice, so I'll hold on to the Prismari commands. I can cut the Seagate Restoration. Do I want to bring in Blood Moon is the question. I don't remember. I really need to start paying attention to control matchups and seeing how many basic lands they're getting. Because a lot of times those 2-color control mana bases get very greedy. Gosh, I don't know. I'll just go ahead and submit it without the Blood Moons. We'll see if I regret that. Yeah, this is a good hand. I think I'm going to keep to basics here so that they don't have Field of Ruin targets. Because a lot of times they want to get rid of their Field of Ruins to make colored mana off of them. And if they can't target anything, then that can be good for me. Yield to those footfalls. Okay, yeah, wow. Play the Scalding Tarn, fetch basic island, and then ice their land and upkeep so that they don't have counterspell mana. Then I'll just slam a Shardless Agent. Yep. All right. Very cool. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Okay. Fun. Very cool. You always manage to draw all the Cascaders in the universe when they're all dead as hell. Now there's a Borrower. That's something. Okay, so I can Borrower the Chalice on their end step with Force of Negation backup. Let's see if they tap out for anything, though. Because if they just tap out for something, then I can just Borrower, or I can just Force a Negation that, and then Borrower the Chalice. Petty Theft, target Chalice. Okay. Just resolves. I don't think I want, I don't think I want to cast the Outburst into this situation. There's a decent, well, the thing I'm worried about is overextending into a Supreme Verdict. Because I believe most of these lists are on Supreme Verdict. I don't know, though. I mean, I have 2 extra Cascaders. I think that might be okay. It might be the Punish. We'll see. I totally forgot that that was on my upkeep. I didn't think about the possibility of drawing a 4th land. Alright, here comes the shock into Supreme Verdict. Yup. What did I say? I hate being right. Okay, that I will force. I figured it was worth kind of forcing them into casting the Supreme Verdict. Also, not to mention they only had 3 islands and a fetch land on board, so I knew they would have to have another white source in hand as well. So, thinking on that a little bit. Okay, opponent is opting an upkeep. Prismari Command is not terrible. It is a blue card that pitches to force. Alright. Let's see if my opponent's got something. Well, I guess they get to scry too to see if they got something. Nice thing about Prismari Command as well is if they do like Wrath my board or something here, I can cast Borrower on end step, and then untap, attack for 3, and then shock face with Prismari Command. So it's definitely definitely feel like I'm in a pretty solid position here. They did top 2 cards, which is interesting. Oh, EE on 0. Okay. Yeah, I will go ahead and force that. Question is, wait, do I want to hardcast this force? No, I think I want to leave mana up for whatever other spell. I think I'm actually going to pitch Shardless to this as well. Okay. I feel like I'm probably gonna get Cryptic, maybe? Huh. Ice Tap Brazen Borrower. Is this the Cryptic? No, Archmage's Charm. Oh, wow. That's an interesting string of runners there. Okay. Oh, I did not want to move to combat there. Oh, whoops. Let's see if they block the Shardless Agent. Let's see if they get greedy. Because if they do that, then I just win the game. Unless one of their last cards is like specifically Flusterstorm. Okay. Yeah. Deal 2 damage to any target. Create a treasure token. Alright, cool. Game 3. On the draw, what do I want to bring in? / change. I think I want to cut a Gemstone Caverns and bring in a Blood Moon. Let me go ahead and also cut 2 Furies and bring in the rest of the Blood Moons. Everything hurts. This is a funny hand. I'm going to keep this one. The secret is that Bone Crusher Giant is actually pretty good against control. Because it is just a 4/3. It's just a 3-mana 4/3. And a lot of times control can't deal with those very well. You know, if they commit into a Wrath, then I can just play another one. And their 1-for-1 removal in Modern tends to be pretty medium against specifically Bone Crusher Giant. Prismatic Ending is not great against Bone Crusher. You know, paying 3 mana and taking 2 damage from a Bone Crusher to remove it, pretty rough. Both of the fairies are decent against it, but it also allows me to reuse Stomp if they ever bounce it. So, all right, looks like we might be pitching a Force of Negation to a Force of Negation this game. Alright, end step. And go and fetch the Ketria Triome. Notably, they don't have double blue here. I was going to say they probably have ice, though. Yep. Oh, that would have been pretty nice to draw. Or to have, but... Alright. Foothills, go. Let's see what my opponent does here. Hopefully they try to, like, slam it to Fairy or something. Yeah. In that case, I'll grab a Breeding Pool and attempt to dispute. Cool. Let's hope for a land here. It is a land. It'll do. Question here is, do I want to main phase this Outburst to then protect the Rhinos with Force of Negation, or do I want to end step the Outburst and protect the Outburst with Force of Negation? They might have a Supreme Verdict, so I think I want to end step the Outburst. Okay. Get to untap with my Rhinos. Get to play an island. 8 coming your way. Still have hardcast Force Negation mana, which is nice. I wish I had another blue card in hand so that I could hardcast one of them and pitch cast the other one. Let's see what happens here. Okay, 4 mana. I'm getting verdicted again. Yep. Definitely worst possible, but, you know, that happens. I'm gonna go ahead and stomp face again. Untap, and let's see what we draw here. Another blue card would be nice. A couple of things I could draw here, though. Oh, that is a blue card. Yeah, that's a nice one. Alright, let's cast a Bone Crusher, say go. Chalice on 0. I don't have any Cascaders. I don't care about fighting over that. Okay. Opponent passes turn. Anything on upkeep? What is this? Click. Okay. Spicy. Not really. They're almost certainly going to take one of my forces, I would have to imagine. They might take the Prismari command. I don't know. I think I'm just going to let this resolve. That's a draw. Alright. Let's grab this Foothills. Let's just grab a forest off of this. Go ahead and stomp the click. If they attempt to counterspell this, I will force a negation. Hardcast, of course. Yeah. Because that's just a good value play. Getting rid of the Vent Click allows me to keep my Bone Crusher on board. And also it means that I get to preserve... oh, okay, well I have to force this, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if they have... if their last card is a counterspell, they're still in this. No, we got there. Alright. Round 1 versus blue-white control. I guess technically Jeskai since they're playing main board Fire Ice. So yeah. Looks a lot like the Wafatapo and like Gabriel Nassif lists. Pretty much like that. I think that might be the Watu list exactly. Might be wrong. I'll have to double check afterwards, but it's a pretty common list. It's definitely a good control list. It's probably the best way to be playing like a, you know, boomer control deck right now. All right, would I like to play first? Absolutely. Wow. This is a definitely a risky hand, so I'm gonna mulligan it, but man, that payoff would have been insane. I'll keep this one. Bottom the basic. I got the lands in this hand to just fetch a basic forest here, so I will do exactly that. Suspending Footfalls on turn 1 is decidedly a good move. Oh, looks like my opponent agrees. Oh, no. Alright, let's yield to that. Okay, well, that's a very good draw in this matchup, that's for sure. You doing okay in there, bud? My fire alarm's been acting up recently, so you might hear that, but it doesn't mean anything. Alright. Question here is, what exactly do I do? I feel like the correct play is probably to Violent Outburst. Hope my opponent doesn't have a... Well, if I cast Shardless, I have to hope my opponent doesn't have Force and a thing to pitch to Force. Although, I think, honestly, putting them in a situation in which they have to pitch to Force this early in the game can be really good. They might have to pitch like their only interactive spell. They might have to pitch a Cascader if they have like a Shardless in hand. They did only have to pitch a Prismari command, but okay. We'll see. This is a super strange matchup to play, to be perfectly honest. Okay. See, I was hoping they'd have to pitch the Shardless to counter mine, but no such luck. So once they declare attacks, I'll go ahead and attempt to Violent Outburst. If they have another Force Negation, then they have another Force Negation, but I wasn't gonna beat their hand if they opened 2 forces in the mirror. This lets me get a little greedy, trade a little more favorably. Now let's go ahead and grab a blue source so that I have 3 blue sources. Here's the Footfalls. Let's cast the Footfalls coming off Suspend. Keep in mind that doesn't mean we're in a particularly good position because our opponent also has a Footfalls coming off of Suspend. Let's see if my opponent has the same trick. No? Okay. I think it's best if I probably go ahead and bounce the Rhino on board. Oh, okay. My opponent is fetching. Do they have something to cast there? Nope. Okay. Yeah. Depends very heavily what's in my opponent's hand and what they're about to draw, but currently we appear to be in a good space. I don't have a counterspell for that, unfortunately. God, if I could hardcast Force in that situation, oh man, I'd be golden. I don't think my opponent can afford... Well, never mind. They came off Suspend, not a Violent Outburst. I was going to say, I don't know if my opponent can afford to attack, but they can't because they have Summoning Sickness. Cool. Alright, end step. I will absolutely go fetch a basic and hardcast this Borrower. Oh, wow, that's brutal. Alright. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 6, 9. Yeah, so Violent Outburst should just kill them here unless they have something to deal with it. Gotta risk it for the biscuit. Yep, got there. Alright, the mirror match. So I'm going to go ahead and consult my sideboard guide here. This is from MaxMagicer, say, great Rhinos player. And he wrote this nice little sideboard guide. He recently took this to a top 3 in, what was it, like a qualifier or something on Moto. He's been piloting it in challenges for the last couple weeks. Let's see, mirror match. In for Mystical Dispute, out, Dead Gone, Fury. Interesting. Fury Prismari command. Okay. So out 1 Dead Gone, out 1 Fury, out both Prismari commands, and then in for Dispute. Yeah, seems good to me. I really need to stop covering the left side of my face since that's where my mic is. Oh wow, yeah, this is a fucking banger of a hand. Holy crap. Holy crap. Um, I think I'm actually gonna exile the Stomping Ground here so that I don't have to pay life. I wish I could suspend on my opponent's turn. That would be funny. Alright, suspend Footfalls, play Misty, say go. Alright, I'm just gonna say go and back up my Violent Outburst with a Force. Or alternatively, I'll just force their Shardless here. You know what, though? I think I'm going to hardcast this Force. Yeah, just being able to trade card parity like that. Very nice. Okay. Because, I mean, it's pretty much as long as they don't resolve a Footfalls, like, I'm doing well, right? You know what I mean? It's like my opponent's probably got another Shardless in hand. Okay, so I'm guessing, based on how my opponent is tapping... Ooh, hardcast Bone Crusher. That's interesting. Okay, now I think is probably the turn I cast the Outburst. Yeah, because they probably just have... They probably are holding up the... My thought is that they probably have a Mystical Dispute, and they wanted to hold up Dispute and cast the Shardless that was in their hand, but they couldn't do that with their current mana situation, which is probably why they went and cast the Bone Crusher instead. Okay, this puts me in a bit of an awkward situation, but... I do have more Rhinos coming off of Suspend next turn, so... I'm gonna attack in, let them trade the Bone Crusher here. And say go. I would really like to get up to 5 mana to be able to hardcast that Fury. I'm not excited about the idea of pitching Force, or pitching Fire to cast it. Okay. Spicy. Yeah, I'm just going to let that resolve. Yeah, it means they almost certainly have the dispute. And like exactly what I said is probably what's happening here. Yeah, this matchup is so weird. I was gonna say, if I can bait out the dispute with a borrower, I'm pretty happy about that. Oh, wow. Okay. That definitely puts me in a good position. Hmm. Alright, so I cascade, and then I'm really ahead on board, and, you know, my opponent's cards here have to be pretty good, especially since I have this Force of Negation still in hand, or rather the one I just drew, rather. Another Shardless here? Indeed it is. Let's see if one of their last two cards is another Dispute. It's not. Okay. I will say two Shardless agents can double block a Rhino. It is a relevant thing. Well, that is never getting cast ever, so let's play this tapped. Just go to combat. Swing with the boys. And this is 16 damage, so yeah, they gotta soak up some of it. Alright, puts him to 5. They have like a stomp to finish off the other Rhino. They do. That's rough. Okay, this is an interesting position to be in. Cast Bone Crusher. There's a number of cards here that most likely win me the game, and that is most likely one of them. Tarn. Go ahead and fetch an island. I do have double red, right? Yeah. Yeah, this most likely gets me there. Put the Fury trigger on the stack, deal 4 damage to the Bone Crusher. Even if they have something to remove one of my threats, if their last card is something, I have Fury next turn. They have a... Oh, no! Their last card is a fucking Outburst. Wow, that's brutal. Oh my goodness. And they had the fucking 6 mana, too. Oh, okay. It is now down to top decks. Oh? Do they have something to tap down my Fury, maybe? Maybe they just drew incredibly well and hit like another Violent Outburst? Because this is 6 damage. Borrower? Oh, okay, cool. What was in their hand? That's so strange. Maybe it was an ice and they just forgot to cast it correctly. You know, like before combat. I don't know. Anyway. So round 2 versus the mirror. I think honestly the mirror tends to come down a lot to luck. But I don't know. I do think I played well. You know, blocking into Rhinos and stuff. Waiting to cast the outburst after the declared attacks. The Fury was pretty good. I think the thing that might have happened there is they might have had a Brazen Borrower, and they might have went to cast it on Fury and then realized, oh, if they bounce Fury, then I just get to replay it and blow up their Rhino. I don't know. You can do some stretching today. All right. All right, welcome to round 3, baby. Let's look at this opener. This is, I think, keepable. It's definitely not a good hand, but I think it's a keepable one. Might be wrong. Maybe being on the draw, this hand might be too slow, might be the problem. But being slow against an opponent that plays to the board is kind of okay since I have Fury. I'm worried this might be another mirror match. That would suck. Also, drawing a bunch of lands is decent if you can start hardcasting Furies. Let's see what they fetch. Ketria Triome, Ketria Triome. Cool. Yeah, I think this is another mirror match. Either that or it's like one of the 4-color control decks. Oh, well, that was a good draw. Alright. Let's see what they fetch here. If it's like a Raugrin Triome, then it's definitely one of the 4-color control decks. But it's a Steam Vents. So it is almost certainly the mirror again. Right. I will ice through Ketria Triome. Ice really was like the best possible draw there, to be honest. Let's see if my opponent's got one. Wow, okay. Furies galore today. Alright, I'll cast the Outburst on their end step. Make it so that they have to hard cast a Force Negation if they have one. I feel, based on their hesitation, they probably have one, and they also probably have a Violent Outburst. It's probably what's going through their head. Either that, or they might just have like double Brazen Borrower or something really good in the matchup like that. No, they have their own Violent Outburst. Yeah, I figured. It's a really bad time to cast it, to be perfectly honest. Because I could have my own Force of Negation. It also, not casting into combat, lets me deal with some of the Rhinos via Furies and not actually trade. Alright, let's see what I rip off the top here. Dead Gone. Sick. Okay. Nope, let me pay a red. Despite the fact that this card bounces an opponent's creature, it does just cost red. Honestly, I'm just gonna get rid of the Prismari command. Always put the Evoke trigger on the stack first. Alright, let's see what my opponent's got. They do have a pretty fucking full grip. Gemstone Caverns is legendary, buddy. Yeah, no, that's fair. I've made that mistake a couple of times, honestly. That's a lie. I made that mistake once. And then I was like, oh, never again. Got a Shardless. No problem. Another land off the top would be really nice here. Also, any spell would probably be really nice, to be honest. Interesting, my opponent... Oh, I lied. I was going to say, interesting, my opponent doesn't have another land, but that's because they played the Gemstone Caverns this turn. That's a weird situation to be in. I think I just evoke one of the Furies here. Blow up one of the Rhinos. Get in for 4, most likely. Does put my opponent at 6, which is good. That means they're dead to 1 more Rhino attack plus a one more Rhino attack plus a burn spell, of which there's still 6 left in the deck. Got 3 more Bone Crushers, 3 more Fire Ices. Let's see what my opponent's got here, though. Okay. Interesting. Oh, yep, they got the, they had the awkward triple gemstone cavern draw as well. I see. Oh, are they hardcasting a Fury? Oh, no! Well, shit. That sucks. I am once again asking for another land off the top. That's not another land. Okay. Damn, dude. That was brutal. Fifth land would have gotten me. Like, this game would have just been in the bag so easily. Yep, and then I'm taking another 5, going to 9. Which means I'm just... If they have another burn spell, I'm just dead next turn, pretty much. Yeah. Off the top. Okay, that's another land. That does put me in a pretty playable position. I believe I have a basic mountain to fetch with this, yeah. Okay, yeah, my opponent had it. That's annoying. Okay, so it was 4 Dispute, -1 Dead Gun, -1 Fury, -2 Prismari Command. Yeah, that was rough. Just some non-cooperative draws. Would like to play first. Wow, that hand is unplayably bad. And this hand is almost just as bad. Gonna bottom. Let's bottom this Dead Gone. I want to keep the Shardless. I want to keep both my lands. I want to keep the Fire Ice as a pitch to force of negation, and I could bottom the Crashing Footfalls. What was the card I just bottom again? Dead Gone. Problem is, like, Dead Gone doesn't do anything other than trade for a single Rhino in this matchup, so... Yield through turn. Need to get better about yields. Looks like my opponent liked my idea. Except they also have a blue source now. Alright. If I could get another... Yay. That's exactly what I was asking for, actually. I don't want to ice their land. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, I want to have a guaranteed blue card to pitch to force. Ice does give me a redraw, but it could be a non-blue card. And also, they aren't really doing anything until turn 3 anyway, so not particularly worried on that front. Fetch the Ketria Triumph there, since I don't need to cast any spells. Opponent's going to fetch the Flooded Strand, which probably means they have ice. Which is not fantastic. They did fetch Shock as well, which means they definitely have ice, but... Oh, no. Oh, no. That sucks, man. I just realized that's my only blue source, too, so I can't even cast ice on them next turn. Ugh. That's really rough, honestly. If either of these were a blue source, I would honestly be really okay with it. I can't borrower either. Just hope they're missing on third land. Nope. Okay. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. They have Outburst too. Yeah, I'm just going to slam the Shardless. I don't know if this is correct, but... They might just be holding up a hardcast force here. Oh, what if they're holding up hardcast Mystical Dispute? Oh, this was a mistake. I might not get punished for it, but this was a mistake. Outburst? Okay. Okay. Stack has resolved. We'll go ahead and pass the turn. See if my opponent decides to declare attacks here. I think there is a valid reason not to. Especially depending on what's in their hand. Okay, interesting. God, what could they have in their hand? See, do they have a counter spell for this? Yeah, it does look like they do. If it's Dispute, I'll just pay for it. It is a force. I'm okay with that, honestly. Ooh, okay. That changes a lot of things. I will go ahead and petty theft one of these rhinos. I don't want to have to pitch force to force. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and oh, this is awkward. I don't know that casting that Brazen Bar was correct. I think it might have been just correct to take the turn off from casting spells to hold up a hard cast force and negation. Yeah, it was. It was totally correct to do that. Alright. Definitely made some misplays. Okay. Ice digging for another card. Wonder if they have a force in hand but no blue card. Well, I guess that wouldn't make sense, because then they would just cast the force instead of icing. Plus you can't force on your own turn. Blah. Because this card is much closer to being a reasonable Magic card than Force of Will is. It's not a reasonable Magic card, but it's much closer. No Cascader. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. They suspended another Footfalls. But no Cascader, yeah. Oh, speaking of Cascaders, I don't need to cast that, though. Unless my opponent does something tricky here. Yeah, I'm just passing on this. Yep, they go to 3. Even if they have something, they have to also have something for my borrower. And I do have a force potential, or I do have force backup as well. Excuse me. So I think this game is locked. Okay, cool. Game 3. I'm on the draw. Gemstone Cavern stay in. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I need to change about the sideboard in Game 3. Alright. Submit deck. Let's see if I can get that third win. This is a pretty keepable hand. Opponent mulls to 6, so that's a good start for us. Okay, they start with 6. We've got 2 Cascaders, a counterspell. It's not Force Negation, which does make it a little rough, but it is a counterspell. Feeling pretty okay. I got 2 lands, gonna have to draw a 3rd land, but I've got 3 draw steps and a draw off of ice to do that, so that's statistically very, very likely. Fury, okay. Decent draw there. Okay. I don't want them to ice me, so I'm not gonna crack this fetch. Okay. Okay, let me go get basic forest and then steam vents. And then ice their Ketria Triome. Oh, good. Okay, I did draw the land. Let's see if they have an ice of their own. Does not look like they do. Okay. I'm absolutely just gonna slam a Shardless Agent here. If they have a Force Negation for it, sounds good to me. I've got 2 more Cascaders in hand, and I'm very up on cards right now. So them 2 for winning themselves sounds like a plan. I'm honestly just in a pretty commanding position here, I think. Like in a Mystical Dispute my Shardless Agent. I had someone do that to me once in the mirror match. They just cast a Mystical Dispute on Shardless, and I was like, what are you doing? Oh? They're probably like Brazen Borrowing one of the Rhinos. Yeah, okay. Super reasonable. Also not particularly worried about that line, though. They're essentially 1-for-1ing themselves off of something that didn't even exist, really. Something that was generated. So... Alright. I have a feeling that their last card here, or the card they're holding up, is probably an Outburst. But I'll just hard cast the Mystical Dispute into that all day long. Yeah. If they have a Force and a blue card left in their hands, then I'm definitely not in a great position. That's a lie. I'm still actually really in a really good position, because then they'd have 1 card left in hand. And I'd have 6, including 2 Cascaders. Seagate Restoration might get used for its purpose here, as a pitch to Force Negation. A Fury here is pretty rough. That's definitely one of the cards that could get me, so to speak. And it looks like that's what they've got. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. Force of Negation doesn't counter creatures. Oh, wow. That's hilarious, actually. Pass turn. Okay, I was about to say, if my opponent attacks with Fury, I'll cast an Outburst into that. Gobble up the Fury with one of the Rhinos, I think. Or do I even? Because they are just dead on the backswing. Actually, yeah, no. I think I just cast this and then block with Shardless. Shardless will get eaten by the first strike even with the +1/+0, but I have double force backup. So they're just pretty dead on board, most likely. Ugh. Let's see what they've got here. Their own Outburst. Oh, Mystical Dispute. Okay. I'll force that. Pitch the Seagate Restoration. And then honestly, I'll just take 6 now that I'm thinking about it. I was going to try to block them, but like I said, the math just works out that I don't want anything. Because even if they have an answer for like one of the Rhinos, say they have like a Borrower, right? Then Outburst plus Shardless and 1 Rhino is lethal still in the crackback, so... Alright, opponent scoops. Round 3 was the second Rhinos mirror match. Better tidings for round 4, hopefully. Let's see. Match has started. Brawn over Brain. Currently playing Spooky Sea. 4-0. My opponent is. So that's fun. We'll see what they're on. Lurrus of the Dream Den. Mold to 6. It's a keepable hand. I've got a Cascader, 2 lands, a Fire and Ice, and that's about all I can really ask for, I think. I've also got a Dead Gone if necessary. My opponent is on a Lurrus deck, a Lurrus deck. Not sure which one. So I might... Okay, my opponent begins the game with 6 cards. Depending on what they show turn 1, looks like Burn? No. Okay, Blood Crypt. DRC. Okay, cool. I will go ahead and shock in the Steam Vents to Dead Gone the DRC. Yeah, no, that is still what I'm gonna have to do. Alright. Casting Dead Gone is a dead giveaway to my opponent when I'm playing, and there's a decent chance they'll just have like a Thoughtseize here to take my Cascader. Dothy Voidwalker. Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Man, this is it's gonna be some painful sequencing, though, I won't lie. Because I need a green source. And this does not fetch a basic forest, so I'm gonna have to get a breeding pool here. And I will fire the Dothy. And then I'm going to have to bolt myself next turn to have the Seagate Restoration come in untapped unless I have something else, or unless I rip another land off the top. DRC. Also, if my opponent has like an Inquisition or Thoughtseize. Damn it. Oh, that's pretty rough, honestly. Okay. Play tapped Restoration. Stop. There's definitely some thought to bolting myself anyway to stomp and then suspend the footfalls. But I don't know. Opponent's got another Dothy Voidwalker. Wow. Oh, Shardless Agent. Sick. Okay. Well, that makes this turn easy. They absolutely can just cast my Crashing Footfalls next turn. But honestly, I have the resources to deal with that. I can just Petty Theft one of them, and then... Okay. Bolt on my Shardless. Opponent draws a land for turn. Puts Luris in hand. Right? Yep. Cast the Footfalls. Not surprised by that. I'm definitely worried about Luris. I am out of removal as of right now. Not anymore, though, so that's nice. Let's go ahead and Petty Theft one of the Rhinos. And then suspend another Footfalls. Then go to combat. They'll probably trade the Rhino. They'll go to 10. This is where the game gets interesting. They have Luris in hand. There's a decent chance they'll play like a Dothy or something next turn. And I can 2-for-2 them by playing the Fury. If I had 5 lands, I could 3-for-1 them, but... Alright, so this comes off suspend. Okay. Alright. Yeah, this should be the end of the game. With Dothy on board, you absolutely want to make sure that you put the evoke trigger first, because otherwise Dothy will be able to eat the Fury, and if they play another one, they might be able to cast it. Let me consult my sideboard guides. I don't know if they'll have specifically this matchup. They might have the... Yeah, it looks like they both have the Grixis one, which should most likely be the same cards. Probably don't want to bring in Mystical Dispute versus that deck. And I also don't have 4 Endurance to bring in. That's rough. So I'll bring in the 2 Endurance. I'll just go ahead and bring in the other 2 Fire Spout, or the Fire Spouts. It seems pretty good in this matchup. And I'll bring out 2 Force of Negation, since 2 for 1ing yourself in a matchup like this is bad. And what are the other things they recommend bringing out? 2 Prismari Command, 1 Seagate Restoration. Okay, so I'll go ahead and bring out the 2 Prismari Commands. I'll leave in the Seagate Restoration. Oops. Let me look at what Doomwake's sideboard guide says real quick. On the draw, -4 force. Oh, Dispute, yeah, okay. Nah. Dispute's not very good against the red-black version, because it's not a blue deck. Crazy, I know. Oh. This hand's spicy. I think it's worth keeping. Honestly, without a Cascader, I think the correct line might just be to exile the island, and then turn 1, shock in the Stomping Ground, and suspend both the Footfalls. Inquisition. Okay, are they going to take a Footfalls, or are they going to take the Fire Spout? They took the Fire Spout, which I agree is probably the correct line. Especially if they have like a Void Mirror in their deck. Oh, this might be a very short game. Yup. This is a very short game. Oh, man. I was worried that exact thing was going to happen. And I took out my Prismari commands, so my only answer to that is a Brazen Borrower, which I am now on the hunt for. I'll go ahead and ice one of their lands and their upkeep. Just digging for a borrower. Hopefully on in 2 turns, 3 turns. DRC. They got like a Thoughtseize, yeah, okay. Only 1 legal target. Let's see, they put Kolaghan's Command from the top of their library into their graveyard. Interesting. With the Surveil trigger. Oh, this is such a dumb game of Magic. Okay. This might be a game of Magic, though. Fuck! Oh, man. That's fucking brutal. All I needed to fade was a discard spell this turn. Damn it, dude. Yep. Alright. That's gonna eat the concession from me. I drew the borrower. They just had the discard spell. Alright. I think this is probably still... Actually, no. Now that I'm on the play, I'm going to remove a Gemstone Caverns. Going to bring back in Prismari Command. And then I think I'll take out another Force for another Prismari Command. Yeah, this is a pretty decent hand. I would have liked to have had 2 Cascaders, but you can't have it all, and you don't really want to mulligan against a deck like this. So, opponent mulls to 5. Opponent keeps on 5. They are on the draw, so it's definitely not nearly as bad as it could be, but I do have some good 2-for-1s in my hand. So, let's see how this goes. This is a potentially interesting game. Alright, shock in a Blood Crypt. DRC. I have yet to see a bobble from my opponent, which is kind of interesting. There's a small chance they might just not be on bobble. I just noticed that the lands in this hand I can't actually cast Shardless. Okay, so they are going to fire off an Inquisition, in which case I'll respond with the DRC, or with a Stomp on the DRC. I know giving them the Surveil wasn't fantastic, but there was the potential value in them playing an extra 1-drop. And then being able to, like if they played a Ragavan, then I could fire both the Ragavan and the DRC, and get a 2-for-1 that way. That's hilarious. The Thoughtseize bug, but the Thoughtseize bug that doesn't help me. Hardcast Bone Crusher, Sego. Alright, another DRC. And another lack of a follow-up play. Man. This game loves me. Okay. So I will fire the DRC. Play the Gemstones, and then I'll hold up Ice for their upkeep. Just because I want to cycle it so that I can find something to Shardless, or to cast, find a land to cast Shardless. There's a Bobble. Yeah, it was a good idea. Oh, fuck. I forgot to ice Mobby. That's tragic. I think I'm just gonna cycle this ice essentially, not even get any like tempo value out of it. All right. Well, somehow my opponent has put themselves in a good position. As long as they can find another land. Hey, good job, opponent. There's the Void Mirror. I figured they mold the Void Mirror. Let's go ahead and get a Breeding Pool tapped. Alright, well, they are pretty close to dead. Oh, Endurance, okay. Yeah, that should be enough to wrap up the game. Yep, that's how those two cards work together. You absolute buffoon. Okay, alright. My opponent, you know, took the honorable way out, I guess. Alright, cool. That was round 4. See if we can get the trophy. That'd be exciting to get a trophy on stream. My second ever stream. Well, my third ever stream, but I did like one stream like a year ago. Bum, ba-bum, bum, bum. Okay. Oh. All right, here we are for round 5. We are currently 4-0. So, ooh, this is a weird one. My opponent revealed Luris, and they're currently 2-0. The thing I'm considering here is like this hand probably just loses to Hammer Time. But against any other Luris deck, it might be Burn. This hand probably also loses to Burn. Opponent mold to 6 though. I'm gonna risk it and keep it. This hand is decidedly not great. But we are on the draw, so we'll see what we get in our first draw step. If it's another land, I'm going to be sad. Oh, Hardened Scales. Okay. Yikes. This matchup is pretty bad. And I drew another land. So I'm not feeling great about this game right off the bat. like I said, just historically, in my experience, the scales matchup is pretty rough. I would say almost unwinnable game 1. Game 2 gets a little bit better. You do have 4 Force of Vigor, but a lot of times I find that Force of Vigor is not good enough in this game. So there's a Zabaz. Okay. Definitely a medium start from our opponent, but we also have a bad start. Alright. Ugh. Okay. Not excited about this. Okay, they do have another land. They're probably just going to attack for 2 and then make a token, would be my guess. Fury's pretty good. Fury is pretty good here. Got a pretty linear play pattern here. I might just be able to jank them out by having 6 Rhinos on board, but we'll have to see. If my opponent fetches like a Shadow Spear off of Urza Saga here, then I'm probably dead. Let's see. It looks like they're floating mana, which is interesting. No? Making a token? Making a token is good for them here, because that means they'll have 2 4/4s. The Ozolith. Okay. More lands. Not fantastic. Am I okay trade? I think I'm okay trading a Rhino. No, I don't think I am. Oh man, this is rough. Oh shit. Oh no, okay. I have a Stomping Ground left. I was like, did I run out of fetchables? Because that would have been a disaster. I think the Stomping Ground might be the last fetchable land in my library, though. Oh, no, I have a Breeding Pool. Okay. Yeah, that's certainly a thing, huh? Oh man. I don't think I want to kill any of their creatures. Just every time I've done that, it's been a losing line. Oh. I was gonna say, there's no way they jank me out with Ink Moth here, is there? Okay. All right. This has been an interesting game. Okay, so 4 times 8 is 32. My opponent's got 5 blockers, so that's 12. So if I play the Fury, blow up just the Zabaz, I think I have lethal. Because the Hangerback Walker just becomes 2 1/1s. So that doesn't actually do anything for me. And this does say at the beginning of combat on your turn. Nothing else has modular. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put the 4 into Zabaz, though. That should get me there. Yep. All right. Wow. What a weird fucking game. I doubt either of these sideboard guides has anything for scales, but I'll do a quick check. Nope. Nothing about scales there. Honestly, the closest matchup is definitely Hammer Time. Which I think probably just Force of Vigor is good enough. Let's see. I don't know that I want to take out Force of Negation. Definitely want to get rid of Bone Crushers. Just because, like, the deck just kind of dirtles and does nothing if it doesn't have hardened scales. So keeping in the forces for the scales might be good enough. Ugh, what a weird matchup, though. I don't know. Is anybody? But yeah. Fire Spout. I think most of the time the board gets too big for Fire Spout to be relevant. Bone Crusher, obviously. The only thing I'm considering is Fire Spout. I could see maybe getting rid of 2 Furies for it, possibly. Nah. Let's just keep this way. Alright. Is this a keepable hand in this matchup? Probably not. Wow. What hand? Okay, so I'll keep this. I'll bottom Footfalls. And then I'll put out the Gemstone Cavern. Go ahead and exile the... It's one of the lands, I think. Let's just go ahead and exile the Foothills. If any hand can get there, I think this might be one of them. Okay, turn 1 Zabaz instead of turn 1 instead of turn 1 Hardened Scales is good for me. Okay, Sacred Foundry. Ingenious Smith. Okay, that is a little awkward. Ingenious Smith does do stuff without me being able to blow it up with Force of Vigor. Opponent gets in for 1 with Zabaz. But I feel like I'm in a solid position. What did they reveal off of Ingenious Smith, by the way? Oh, wow. They whiffed off Ingenious Smith, didn't they? That's incredible. Oh, wow. Alright, just time to slam a Shardless. Honestly, this game looks very winnable. If I draw another land, I can start hard casting Force of Vigor as well. Okay, there's a Scales. There's a Basilisk Collar. Oh, that's kind of frustrating. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna attack with the 2 Rhinos, just see what my opponent does. Okay, they block with Zabaz. So they'll take 7, go to 7. Did they just fuck up? Does Modular have to go into an artifact or something? What just happened? Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a punt. My opponent just targeted my Shardless agent with Modular. Wow. Okay. I think I should be able to wrap up this game next turn, though. I should be able to... Yeah, okay, cool. Force of Vigor, both of their creatures. Cast Gone, targeting the Ingenious Smith, and then that's game. I just have lethal on board. Wow, okay. It didn't look like it mattered anyway, but that was a weird punt to witness. All right, Gone. Alright, and then exile this second copy of Force of Vigor to cast the Force of Vigor, destroy both your creatures. And then, GG. Wow! Got the trophy on stream. That's incredible. Alright. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, that was Team Rhinos. I think it's definitely one of the best decks in the format. You know, last league I did with this, we went 4-1, and then we got the 5-0. I like this build. The only thing I'm still sus about is 3 Gemstone Caverns. I'm definitely considering dropping it to 2. But I like the 3 Dead Gone in the main board. It's really good against a couple of matchups, and it's almost never dead. Sometimes it is just like a 3-mana unsummon, but sometimes that's all you need to get in, like we just saw. Yeah, I'm really happy. Like, Borrower, admittedly, I mean, I don't think I was ever, like, ecstatic to see Borrower, so I think 3 is a super reasonable amount. But yeah, that's I think that's going to be the stream for today. Thank you anyone who came out and watched, and anyone who ends up watching this on YouTube. And you know, like, follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Do all of the above, maybe. Yeah, and y'all have a good one.